Hey everybody, this is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with another Pioneer Quick Hits. Friendly reminder, this is a daily series where we cover interesting decks from Pioneer and Modern for the most part. It is very much like the old SCG content that used to be a daily deck list with a match played, so we have some idea of how the deck plays out without necessarily having to watch an entire league. This particular list is a mono-green ramp planeswalker deck by Doomwake, who took first in the Modern Showcase this past weekend. It's a big event that happens once a month, roughly, where people try to vie for the... it's either quarterly, yeah, I think it's quarterly championships. So, new addition to this deck, actually an old addition come back from the unbanned list. Oath of Nissa helps smooth things out. The deck did lose access to Walking Ballista, which was a huge part of its game plan, but it adds consistency and power at the cost of one of its utility players and one of its mana sinks. As far as that goes, it uses things like Elvish Mystic, Llanowar Elves, and Wolfwillow Haven to get early mana bursts, along with Burning Tree Emissary and Nykthos to power out quick planeswalkers, Vivien Arcbow Ranger, and Karn the Great Creator. You have a lot of tools in the sideboard, which we'll get to in a bit with those. Nissa, who shakes the world, adds a lot of mana, which plays nicely with both of these cards. And Voracious Hydra is a terrific mana sink, either to fight opposing creatures or to just make a huge creature that your opponent has to answer. As far as your mana base, a bunch of forests, a couple Casting Garen Breaks, and 4 copies of Nykthos. This allows you to kind of break the usual mana priorities. Garenberg, obviously, once you hit 5 lands, is basically 6 mana for creatures. Nykthos obviously powers up Devotion, and your entire deck is built around the concept of Devotion, with things like Jadelight Ranger, Burning Tree Emissary, and Vivien adding a whole bunch of pips to the process. Vivien Arcbow Ranger, +1s, and then can ultimate the following turn. There's plenty of creatures on the sideboard to grab, and then Karn has the ability to grab an artifact card you own from outside the game to use to leverage. As far as that goes, you have a huge variety of things going on here. First off, you have Darksteel Citadel, which you can guarantee a land drop with Karn. Tormod's Crypt and Grafdigger's Cage, pretty good against any type of graveyard shenanigans. Pithing Needle when you need to shut down planeswalkers or things with activated abilities. Heart of Curon when you need some pressure to get around some board states. Also can protect your planeswalkers by using their own loyalty. Align Hedron Network, this is an interesting one, but enters the battlefield, exile all creatures with power 5 or greater. To Align Hedron Network enters the battlefield, basically it's a wrath for big creatures. Stonecoil Serpent is a huge mana sink that you can grab, and then creatures you can grab with Vivien include Emrakul and Ulamog, and then Verdurous Gearhulk can be grabbed by both Karn and Vivien, and then Elder Gargaroth is a 6/6 for 5 that whenever it attacks or blocks, and get to create a beast, draw a card, or gain some life. Great Henge is another way to grind out some card advantage. The Boat here is a good way to deal with opponent's boards. And then God Pharaoh Statue is an interesting way to kind of sort of lock out your opponent of playing spells from the game. So, that said, let's hop into a 2-man queue and play a match and see how this deck plays out. We are back for the match. So, we have quite a bit of mana here. Unfortunately, we're on the draw, but I don't think we can put back a double mana dork. Karn Nissa hand, so... Pass turn. I'm going to play Jadelight here to play around something like Deafening Clarion a little bit. Might be incorrect, maybe I'm just supposed to... yeah. do the thing. Of course, if our opponent has a counterspell, they just got to kind of snipe it for free. Yep. Clarion that we kind of expected. Okay. So I guess they're going to bounce the dork. Yep. Put a Karn here. Hopefully I don't have a Luca. Terror of the Twin Peaks, huh? Use this. Grab the... Grab a copy of Darksteel Citadel. Got the Citadel. That. Another terror. So how do we deal with that? Hedron network would be nice. Decisions here. So we have 6 mana for creature spells. Not exactly the easiest situation to deal with for us. Make a dude. Problem is we have no way to stop what's going on over there right now. So I guess I Sky Sovereign, shoot Sky Sovereign shoot Teferi. Wait, can't get bounced. That's annoying. Opponent has a counterspell. They have a counterspell. There's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, let's give it the indestructible land. Ferry down, pass turn. Dig through time. Yep, secure the wastes. Go and face with both. Okay. Terror of the Twin Peaks. Alright. So, if I remember correctly, you don't sideboard with this deck. Just do the thing. So... looks like they're running the full 4 Terror of the Twin Peaks. Not exactly the easiest deck for ours to combat, but Cage at least shuts off Indomitable Curiosity. But, I mean, we at least get to see what our deck does to a certain degree with the fast, almost a fast Planeswalker. And then we try to Indomitable. I guess it's creativity. I guess I'd like to play first. This hand's reasonable. We at least have an accelerant. Have an Oath of Nissa on one. Alright, so play Oath. We're looking for a land or a dork. Probably a land. So Garenberg's a decent one. So what, 3 mana, 4 mana next turn? Interesting to see if our opponent has a counter spell up this turn or not. Opponent wants to bluff a censor or have a censor, it's kind of whatever here. Yeah, it's just not worth playing the things right now. Next turn we'll have access to 5 mana and can play. So, opponent could have been bluffing a censor or some type of counterspell there. I suspect they are a Luca deck as well. Hopefully they tap out for like Teferi or something here. Let's put you to the test. It's the general thought process. Forcing our opponent to answer this. Double bolt. Okay. Cycling a land. Pithing Needle. Yes. Opponent is very unassuming, but they seem to know what they're doing with their deck, so... I've known some players to be very chatty, but they are trying to disarm their opponent a little bit. Insulate ourselves against the combo now, so we get Cage. Finally going to use a counterspell of some type here. Sure. Lightning strike the Karn. Sacrifice your Omen of the Sea. Cycle another Triumph. Okay. We expect this to get countered of some way, somehow. Not activating Nissa. Okay, so I know this one's dying. Okay, let's see what you got. Drawn or bought in 15 lands. Just Emrakul them and have fun. Alright, and our opponent submits. Admittedly, control decks are probably one of this deck's tough matchups. Don't think we can keep this hand, unfortunately. We keep this bottom of Nykthos, I guess. Why do people wait until their second main phase to play their land? Alright, that's a pretty good draw. Mandork? Sure. Okay. Burning Tree, the Wolf Willow Haven. Decent chance our opponent has a Dovin's Veto they want to hold up here. Mystic not the best, but I do think we take it. What you got over there, friend? They play a terror, we're in a lot of trouble. Probably wondering if there's a card that matters in our hand or not. Just pass. No need to play anything here. I guess if they go soldiers into indomitable creativity, we could be in some trouble, but yeah, looks like a secure the wastes. So maybe I was just supposed to jam Karn here. Sure. Definitely feels like a Dovin's Veto, but I don't know how much longer we can afford to play around it. Really hard to tell if they're holding up veto, if they're trying to set up the combo, what they're doing. Okay. It's like Indomitable Creativity. Yep. Kind of a rough matchup to run into, but did kind of showcase some of the strengths and the weaknesses of this deck. But, yeah. I mean, this is an interesting, like, Dragonstorm-esque kind of thing going on. Basically, it just comes in and they all gun for 30 damage or whatever. It's basically a better version of Dragonstorm, for lack of a better term. Those of you that don't know what Dragonstorm is Dragonstorm is a combo deck that has existed, I guess it was primarily in Standard, that was basically played a bunch of spells out. You know, Rite of Flame, Seething Song, played like some of the storage lands from Time Spiral block, and would try to cast Dragonstorm into Bogarden Hellkite. Bogarden Hellkites would deal 5 damage divided any way you choose among creatures that enter the battle, or under any target as they enter the battlefield, and frequently would just dome the opponent for 20. And then, in addition to those, it played the card Hunted Dragon in case you drew one of your 4 Bogarden Hellkites, and was a haste. I think it was a haste 6/6 dragon that gave your opponent 3 2/2 knights or something. So, but this is effectively is like a 2-card combo. You literally just find a token source and then cast Indomitable Creativity and then just kind of go nuts. So, but got to see what our deck did. You know, we were walking kind of the rope here of, you know, I could try to jam Karn and grab Grafdigger's Cage, which would stop this from happening. So we do have outs to it. The problem is, when you're playing against a control deck, you don't know, like, when you can jam, when you can't jam, etc. So, apologies to Doomwake, that we couldn't do his baby justice here, but you did get to see an interesting matchup at least. So, this has been John for MTG Nexus, and if you're liking this kind of daily content, please consider subscribing to the channel and let me know down in the comments down below.